Welcome back, you here with Goldberg. Today we'll be doing a short video talking about this rather sad story coming out of Tennessee. Forgive me if I'm on a bit of a soapbox in this segment. It's just that I'm getting sick and tired of these manifestations where halfway decent men are required to go through rituals of public humiliation simply to maintain their very impotent status in society. So let us commence. Husband of Tennessee cop gone wild, Megan Hall, I guess her parents didn't know how to spell, stands by his wife and tries to salvage their marriage after she was fired for having sordid sex romps with 6 colleagues. As she shrugs off scandal and says, "It's time to move on." Yeah, she doesn't care. Hull had claimed she was in an open marriage and tried to recruit her sheriff's deputy husband of 4 years, Jedediah, for swinging sessions. But clean-cut Jedediah, the son of the pastor, wasn't really on board and instead confronted his wife of 4 years for cheating. Coffee County Sheriff Chad Parton, who's run out of tea, says, "I don't know how he's doing it. He's more a man than I am, but he's trying to salvage his marriage." Yeah, well, there's a word for that. We won't mention it here. When she's confronted, "I don't want to discuss it. I'm just going to move on and live my life," she declared with a shrug. Yeah, again, no big deal. She just got caught. Married Hull performed oral sex on colleagues while on duty, had affairs and proposed threesomes with another officer and his wife, and whipped off her bikini top at a Girls Gone Wild bathtub party. I mean, whip it off for what reason? Is there anything to show? Look, even the dog's ashamed. They had to put him in a lampshade to cover his face. That's brutal. So, she's marginally cute enough that your typical Crisco nationalist would be willing to simp for her. Well, that hairline is brutal. Might want to invest in some finasteride or minoxidil, perhaps. In fact, she reminds me, strangely enough, of a guy. He was active in the manosphere for a while. I called him National Socialist Potato Head, but that's just my, flashing, glancing observation. Hull cut an unlikely figure for a seductress as she stood in front of her marital home Wednesday afternoon in sweatpants and a baseball cap, waiting for her dog to pee in the yard. The descriptions here are great. And that is Jedediah. So he looks like, a normal human being who is probably in love with this chick and was hoping to do the right thing and have a family. She's got the butterfly tattoo, which is a little bit suspect, at least from my experience. There's all the fame. Oh, she's a good girl. Look at that. Nice family. So, big-hearted Jedediah was a former state park ranger with a master's degree from Middle Tennessee State University, and he was sticking with his wife despite the problems. He was training for Tennessee Highway Patrol, but decided to pull out because of the scandal engulfing his spouse and took a job as a deputy. So, literally, this woman hijacked his career because of her stupidity. He hasn't broken any laws. He's the victim here, not a blemish on his record. He's doing a phenomenal, phenomenal job. Yeah, and unfortunately, well, we'll talk about that just a bit. So apparently, the allegation is that she was playing the skin flute with Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, who denied and then admitted to it because I want to say, well, one of them, they were trying to meet together during the investigation to have the same story so it wouldn't come out. Canine Officer Larry Holliday and Patrick Malagiaco, who is also married, were both suspended for relationships with Hall. The probe led to Juan Lugo, Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, and Ty McGowan all losing their jobs. This shows you a lot about the brotherhood of the uniform, right? These guys probably knew the dude, went to barbecues or cookouts with him, and they don't care about screwing his wife. Also, guys, do not get in a serious relationship or marry a woman that's in uniform, particularly a cop. But even women in the military is highly suspect because especially if they go into the MOSs like MP, where there's a lot of dudes, they love male attention. What do you think that translates to? Okay, this guy, it was a mistake, but he's probably a halfway decent person. So anyway, and why, if I recall this correctly, they say Magliaco's wife was trying to get her also involved, like kiss Hall and all this nonsense. It's really just degenerate. At the center of things was petite blonde Hull who grew up in a rural Tennessee dreaming of becoming an actress. Yeah, well, that says a lot right there. Instead, she entered law enforcement. Okay. She tried to dry fire the gun at her head so she could hear what it sounded like. So you've also got probably a mental case, if that's accurate. So this dude, I don't know if he knew going in if she was on medication or whatnot, but it's very sad. Yeah, this looks like a Boy Scout type of character, probably a church-going man. He was looking to have a family like his brother. Yeah, Magliaco's wife Amy got involved in an attempt to bring Jedediah into a night of bed swapping. Police departments are known for this. There's a lot of swinging, spouse swapping going on. And so you see, this guy was trying to hold the line. He was legitimately probably a decent moral human being, but his wife is just like, well, either I don't know if she was a hoe when she met him, or maybe she felt like she didn't get a chance to go out and ride. So the end result is this: a great American. And here she is on TikTok showing off the tattoos. So, what do you make of this? And you say he wants to stand with it, try to salvage the relationship. I would interpret this with three primary possibilities. One is the REO Speedwagon argument. I don't believe it. You know, there's no way that that's true. She's my princess. She would never do something like that. They're just making it up. And a lot of guys do that. These teachers, women that bang their students, and this husbands will stand by them and pretend that it didn't happen. The other possibility is he is, has some knowledge about the black pill, and he realizes he's not going to get something equivalent if he breaks up with her. That would be the "I'm an incel without you, baby." That's the saddest argument. Or perhaps actually worse is this one. And what we do in the West is from a young age, we raise boys and we beat down their psychology and tell them that they are scum, that they are nothing, that they are pathetic human beings. And their only hope of making it in life and salvation, if you will, it's very much like you going to God because you're a sinner, is this divine human being of the opposite sex that's so nice, so kind, so gentle, so allowing and accepting of your faults. There is a country song on the radio now by a guy called, I think, Kopi Johnson. And it's like, "Forgive me, girl, I'm still learning to be human." It's like, shut your effing mouth, dude. I am so sick of this behavior where guys willfully go along with it. Just like if a woman betrays you or abuses you or mistreats you, leaves you, men are taught to believe it's their fault. When half the time it's like, no, they might be a good person. It's just the fact that you're dealing with an unstable human being. And you got to be very careful because this is just going to happen more and more. My advice to Jedediah, and I don't know if he's ever going to watch this video, but maybe one of you guys at some point will be in a similar position, okay? It's never too late to salvage not the woman, but your dignity and your future, okay? So what he needs to do is take her to divorce court. He'll have her dead to rights with the information because it was a government investigation. So she'll get destroyed. He won't have to pay her alimony. She may even have to pay him something. Look into a hardship transfer to a department on the other side of the state, if not out of state. Go on and live your life. Start generating money, maybe Geomax, or at least find a slightly better woman. Because you keep trying to do this, this woman is not going to change, in my opinion. If you're willing to go through that, get married, play the whole game, and then you're doing this, it's probably going to be a pattern. So get out while you still can. Men need to learn this. Stop believing in that crap, the Kopi Johnson, oh yeah, I'm a horrible human being, I've got to ask her for forgiveness. No, he didn't do anything wrong as far as we know. He needs to have his head held high and walk on into towards the horizon and not worry about this because it's just going to be a dead weight. And if you lose your dignity as a man and you're just okay with that continuously, your life is over. You have a chance, take it, move on.